Go live. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. How are you? How is ya? How's it going? How are things in your life? Can you tell I'm filling space until I can share this on my personal page? I think you can. I do it every single week, every single time before you go to make those picks. Come on, tune in. Post. All right. Here we go. Let's do this. So far this week, we are 0-1. I went with the Jets +3. Of course, they lost by 4. Baker Mayfield looked good, so that's exciting for the NFL. Not so exciting for my Jets because who wants to have a rookie coming out party on them? This really, I have a light over top of my head here, and it really, shiny ass head I got going on here. Some greasy, shiny head action I got going on. Don't let that detract from the Baker Mayfield hype. That kid looked legit. The Browns did not water down their offense for him as the Jets watered down their offense for Sam Darnold. I mean, obviously, he's not going to play that way every week. He is still a rookie. He's an older rookie. He redshirted. He went around. He's kind of like Carson Wentz in that respect, that he was older as a rookie. But if he can play like Carson Wentz, I think the Browns would be quite happy. And I think that they would say that they've found their guy. I know Hugh Jackson said he's got to view the tape. Tyrod is going to clear the concussion. I sound like concussion. The concussion protocol this afternoon, and he will have a decision to make. I'd be floored if Baker Mayfield is not the starting quarterback in Cleveland next week. Who do they have next week? Let's see. Week 4, Cleveland. Loading. Cleveland has the Raiders. So I would imagine they're going out west. They've had 10 days to prepare, so to speak. They had that Thursday game. It's a good time to transition to a rookie when you have that extra, 3-4 days rest where he can kind of get used to the game plan and they can insert him in with the ones, which he supposedly did not take one snap with the ones all last week. So it's even more impressive the way he played. I took the Jets +3. It looked like I was going to be fine at 14-0 Jets. Unfortunately, the wheels fell off and they couldn't do anything. That loss put me down to 19-13-1 for the season. I was 10-6 again last week, 9-6-1 the first week. So we're 0-1 this week. Let's get it rolling off with Atlanta in Atlanta. New Orleans goes to Atlanta. You got one of those NFC South matchups that I think everyone is looking forward to. Won't get a ton of pub during the 1:00 games here in Sussex County because you got the Redskins on, you got the Eagles on. So not too many eyes will be on Falcons Saints in this area. I think we're going out to the Hooters in Midway. So I will definitely have my eyes on that game. A lot of the good 1:00 games. There are a couple of stinkers, but for the most part, some really good 1:00 games. Saints and Falcons, one of them. And right now, the Falcons are a 2-point favorite. I've gotten both of my Atlanta picks wrong this year. I thought they were going to beat the Eagles in the first week, and then I thought the Panthers were going to beat them in the second week. So I've been off on them. My inclination is to go New Orleans +2, but that line has come down from 3 to 2. So for that reason, I'm going to take Atlanta -2. I think it's a field goal game, and I think that Atlanta pulls out a close one at home in the I guess it's not a new stadium anymore. It's still pretty new. Yeah, it's a new stadium. Who the fuck am I kidding? It's like 2 years old, if that. I can call it a new stadium. It's not if it's some ancient ass stadium. So we'll go Atlanta -2 there. One of the hottest names in the NFL right now, Patrick Mahomes. The Niners and the last year's hot name, Jimmy GQ. Jimmy Garoppolo will come to Kansas City in Arrowhead, which is typically a tough place to play. Kansas City is a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under for that game is 54.5, which is super high for an NFL game. Could they hit the over? Certainly. Kansas City's a tough team right now because is their defense really bad because they're like playing with a lead and other teams are passing on them a lot, or are they really bad because they're really bad? They're giving up 500 yards passing a game. That's pretty horrendous. I think that would be record setting in the NFL if that pace keeps up. keeps up. I don't think they're going to give up 500 yards a game for the entire season, but it is a concern. 6.5 points is not a ton. I think the Niners are sneaky good. They let the Lions back into that game late last week. They kind of dominated them. They played really well against the Vikings, who are a really good team, even though they kind of shat the bed a little bit against the Packers. I'm going to go San Fran plus 6.5, just because I feel like that's a lot of points for a shitty defense to be laying. We'll find out a lot about the Chiefs today. Not that the Niners are like Super Bowl contenders, but we will find out if that Chiefs defense is as bad as it looks, or if they can continue to improve. And it was just because they were playing with leads. The Niners defense is probably better than any of the defenses the Chiefs have played this year. Reuben Foster's back. They got really good linebackers in the middle. They got that Witherspoon kid on the outside. Richard Sherman is the other one. They're really, really stout up front. They got DeForest Buckner, Sheldon Thomas, or Solomon Thomas. They're going to give the Chiefs some issues on defense. So I expect that game to be close. I think the Chiefs will win. But look for the Niners to cover that 6.5. And maybe Patrick Mahomes has one of those come back down to earth days. One of those stinker games I was referencing earlier is the Raiders and the Dolphins. Oakland comes east for a 1:00 game, which is never really good for those West Coast teams. Anytime you have to come east and then play a 1:00 game, it's rough on their quote unquote body clocks. I don't know. Is that what it's called? A body clock? Got a body clock. Gonna mess me up. Gonna have jet lag. I don't know. Miami's a tough one. They didn't look very good against the Jets. They got the win. They didn't look great against the Titans. They got the win. Marcus Mariota got hurt. So they were able to pull out 2 wins that were not impressive. They're a 3-point favorite right now. The Raiders have looked, outside of the Steelers, like the most dysfunctional team in the NFL so far this season. John Gruden somehow traded Khalil Mack. I know he didn't do it. I guess it was the front office, but somehow traded Khalil Mack and then had the nerve to come out the last 2 weeks and basically say, we need to find a pass rush. It's hard to find a pass rush in this league. Well, you fucking traded Khalil Mack, who has been gangbusters with the Bears. Yeah, he's been a little tired at the end of games, but if you didn't trade that guy, I don't know, you might have some semblance of a pass rush. Let's bring this camera down a little bit. Nope, too much. Why did I just interrupt my entire flow there to bring my camera down a little bit? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. But no. So John Gruden, look, it's 2 games in. It's way too early to say, oh, the game is passed him by. But it's looking like that 10-year, $100 million contract or whatever insanity they gave him was probably not a great idea. Had he been following the game while he's doing Monday Night Football? Certainly. But still, it's a lot different when you get down there and you get in the trenches and you're dealing with personalities and guys, and John Gruden was used to being the biggest personality in the room, and he's gotten rid of a lot of their young players. It's almost like he's mortgaging the future for a team that's not that great right now, it looks like, anyway. So we will see. They really blew that game against Denver. They should have won that game. They had that game dead to rights. And that game caused a lot of controversy with some bettors. Apparently in Jersey, the FanDuel line went from like minus 600 to plus 750, which basically if you bet $100, you would win 75,000 back. Plus, yes, 7,500. Yes, that's what it was. So if you bet $100, you'd win 75,000 back, whatever it was. And some guy laid a bet, and he was owed $82,000. FanDuel came back and said, absolutely not. We're not paying that bet. It was obviously a computer glitch. So that's going to end up in court. I kind of side with the casino on that one. What happened was it was called an in-game bet. So as the Broncos were driving, the odds went more and more in Denver's favor. Then all of a sudden, Denver hits a deep pass, and all of a sudden, the odds go in the Raiders' favor, like huge. So the guy took the bet. McManus hits the field goal, and he wins $82,000. That they are basically saying, "Tough shit, buddy. You're not getting that. Go kick rocks," and that's what he's doing. So for this pick, I don't know. Ryan Tannehill's underrated, and he's bound for one of those shit games. I don't think it's today. I'm going to go Miami -3. I think they have enough to get the job done. So I'll go Miami -3. The next game that I guess is kind of a stinker because of one of the teams involved is the Bills and the Vikings. The Bills travel to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has looked good. He did look like the same old Kirk Cousins, though, at times against the Packers, where if he was flustered, if he was rushed, he was definitely going to throw an interception. and he got bailed out big time by one of the, I would say, the most controversial calls to date in the NFL. Clay Matthews makes a sack. Looks like he puts his arm down to brace. However, the ref calls the penalty saying he picked him up and drove him into the ground. I picked things up and put them down. I picked things up and put them down, which kind of fits Clay Matthews' personality. If you look at the guy, he looks like a guy who would be the I picked things up and put them down. He would definitely be that guy. And he picked him up and he put him down too rough, and he hurt poor Kirk, his ego and his pride, and the ref didn't like that. So he threw the flag. Cost the Packers a win. At least they got a tie, because apparently kickers in the NFL forgot how to fucking kick last week. It was insanity. So many missed field goals. A lot of teams, the Browns, the Vikings. There were two others too that the guys just could not put the ball through the uprights, and it was really, really bad. However, I don't think the Vikings are going to have trouble this week. The question is, are they going to cover the spread? Listen to this kind of craziness. So the line is 17 and the over-under is 41.5. So that would put it at what? I don't know, 41.5. So 31-10 would get it done. 34-7 would get it done. 24-17 would not get it done. It would get it done for the over-under. I'm very leery when NFL spreads get up above 14. I don't like laying that many points, just because when teams get up big, they usually hit the brakes. They play that prevent defense, and teams score points late. For that reason, I'm going to take Buffalo plus 17. They have shown no signs of life. At the second half against San Diego or Los Angeles wasn't bad, but plus 17, it's a shit ton of points. Is Minnesota going to win the game? Yes. If you have an elimination or eliminator pool or whatever, take the Vikings. However, I'm going to take Buffalo plus 17, because, they'll probably be losing by 3 touchdowns at the end, and Josh Allen will get a late touchdown. So Buffalo plus 17 is the pick for me there, which brings us to one of the more intriguing games of the I guess you could say the early season, because you have two quarterbacks coming back off of injury, two teams that are 1-1. Both could use the win for confidence. And yes, that's Andrew Luck and the Colts, and Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Carson Wentz makes his much anticipated debut. He's back from that ACL injury. Nick Foles looked pretty much like Nick Foles. I know he had that Super Bowl run, and Big Dick Nick will never forget you, but it was time. He had looked rather pedestrian. Anytime a guy's coming back from an ACL injury, I'm now talking about Wentz, they say it takes the full 2 years for them to get mentally back. 1 year, you're back physically. Then it takes a whole nother year to get back mentally. We'll see what Carson Wentz can do. The Eagles are a touchdown favorite. I don't know that Carson Wentz puts them over the edge. What I do think puts them over the edge is that defense. I don't know that the Colts are going to have answers for the guys in the middle. The Eagles wide receivers leave a lot the Eagles cornerbacks leave a lot to be desired. Yeah, they're good. Jalen Mills, Sidney Jones, Ronald Darby, they have talent, but for whatever reason, that athleticism just doesn't translate onto the field in the way you would think it would. This is a really hard game for me to pick. I think 7 points is a lot. A full touchdown is a lot to give up. For that reason, I'm going to go Indy plus 7. The Eagles just haven't impressed me anyway this year that they should be a touchdown favorite, which leads us to the other big game in Sussex County. I know there's the Ravens, but the other big game in Sussex County, you have the Packers and the Redskins. Green Bay is right now a 3-point favorite, which obviously the game's in Washington, so that's going to bring the point spread a little closer. That typically Vegas views home field as a 3-point advantage. So on a neutral field, this would be a Green Bay -6. In Lambeau, it would be Green Bay -9 is basically what that says. However, 3-point line that stayed frozen the whole time. Something's up with this game. I don't know what it is. It's definitely a trap game. All the money should be going on Green Bay right now. Green Bay -3 seems like a must buy. However, they're coming off a tie with the Vikings. They barely beat the Bears. They've shown no, I guess you could say, killer instinct or any kind of, the Packers are back. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. However, there's a reason this line is 3 points and it hasn't moved. However, I'm too stupid and too stubborn to look at all those reasons, and I'm going to take the Packers -3. I feel like this is one of the locks of the week. Green Bay -3. Are the Redskins better than advertised? Yes. Are they 3 points to Green Bay? No. I think Aaron Rodgers and company go in there and win the game like 21, 21-17, 21-14. It's going to yeah, Rodgers is going to be questionable for the rest of the year after that knee injury. He's going to be on the injury report from now until he's dead or he misses the rest of the year. Because we know at some point he's probably going to miss a huge chunk of the season. But if he's able to walk, he's going to play. There's no way the Packers view the Redskins in that low of a light that they try to trot out DeShone Kizer. If they do, obviously the Redskins are the pick. But you got to figure that Aaron Rodgers is going to play. And I'm going to take the Pack -3 for that reason. I think the Redskins are better than people give them credit for. However, if I'm only given 3, I'm taking the Packers. So we're down to now Panthers Bengals. I apologize. There was that 2 P teams in a row. So Cincinnati travels to North Carolina, where I guess it's obviously I was going to make a hurricane joke. Don't do it. Their houses are flooded. Their houses are gone. People are underwater. It's not funny. But they are going to North Carolina, and hopefully this game can take people's minds off of the fact that their houses were 6 feet underwater for an entire week in North Carolina in certain areas. Maybe they will Cam Newton will take their mind off the fact that they now have black mold residing in their floorboards. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know that after 9/11, sports supposedly brought the country back together. So maybe Cam Newton and Devin Funchess can take people's minds off the black mold that's growing right now in their crawl space. I don't know. I'm hoping they can do that. Either way, the Panthers are a 3-point favorite. I have not liked the way they played. I was really high on them last week. I thought the Falcons minus Deion Jones, minus Keanu Neal would have problems, I guess, with the Panthers. They didn't. They took care of them. So what I'm thinking now is that the Bengals are going to go in there and win the game outright. So I think the Bengals go to 3-0. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 3 points. The Bengals have been my go-to this year. They've won both of the games. I've bet on them this year, so I've been very happy with the return I've gotten on the Bengals. So I'm going to continue that trend, and I'm going to go Cincinnati plus 3. No need to spend much time on that game. Jaguars Titans. I think it was just reported a little earlier, maybe like late last night, early this morning, whenever it was, that Marcus Mariota is not going to play. This line went from not being bettable, it was off the board, to now it's -10. Jacksonville -10. Blaine Gabbert starting. What more can you say? Blaine Gabbert against Jalen Ramsey, Miles Jack, Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue. I'm going to take Jacksonville every time. Doesn't matter what the line is. I know I said if it gets up to 14, then yes, then that's an issue. But right now it's 10. I'm going to take Jacksonville -10 at home. Blake Bortles, is he phenomenal? No. They're coming off a big win against the Patriots. Could it be a trap game? Could it be a letdown game? Let's see who they have next week. Am I going to talk myself out of this Jacksonville pick? Let's find out. Who does Jacksonville have next week? Jacksonville has the Jets next week. No, this will not be a trap game. This will not be a letdown game. I don't think the Jags are looking ahead to the Jets and worrying about them at all. So I would say this has no potential for a trap game, which basically means the Titans are going to win this game outright. I'm going Jacksonville -10. Yeah. The Bengals do tend to choke at the end of the season, and that's an issue. But for now, we'll ride the Dalton wave. We'll ride the big red wave. Right now, I gotta go Jacksonville -10, which brings me to the last local team. Well, look, in Lower Delaware, there's Giants fans, there's Jets fans, there's Ravens fans, there's Eagles fans, there's Redskins fans, there's Packers fans, there's Cowboys fans. I guess that's every community has people who like all teams, but it seems like we're like an hour and a half from all the major areas, so we get a lot more of that. However, Denver comes to Baltimore. Baltimore is a 6-point favorite. I do think the Ravens are a better team. 6 points is a lot for an inconsistent team. Joe Flacco may get a sack fumble from Von Miller that the Broncos return for a touchdown. You just never know. I think the Ravens are a better team. However, I'm going to take Denver +6 just because I think it's a close game. Weather's going to be kind of icky. I could see that game, Case Keenum not losing that game for the Broncos. That's basically what it'll come down to. Can Case Keenum stay away from big mistakes, and will Flacco make the big mistakes? We know he's been prone to make them the past 3-4 years. You got to think at some point Miller breaks through, gets a strip sack. I don't know. I'm literally just spitballing here, but I would say Denver +6. Houston -6 over the Giants. The Giants go to Houston. They looked bad against the Cowboys, like almost like not an NFL team. Look, here's the thing. I know it's easy to say that the Giants' offensive line sucks and Eric Flowers is this and they're all turnstiles and they're terrible. Here's the real truth. Eli Manning is no longer an NFL quarterback. As soon as there's any hint of pressure, he turtle shells, his eyes drop, and he just basically waits to be sacked. He does not attempt to throw the ball to a hot route. He does not attempt to spin out and evade. I know he's not a very mobile quarterback, but you got to do something. Slide in the pocket, step up in the pocket, chip with a running back. Saquon Barkley looks like the real deal, but at this rate, the Giants are going to sorely regret not taking a quarterback at number 2 overall. When you draft that high, you've got to draft a quarterback, especially when your quarterback you have right now is like 40 years old, is dog shit, and cannot do anything. Like, I get it. With Eli back there, you want to build the offensive line, and the GM's kind of at fault, but that offensive line is not like getting beat immediately. He's been in the league long enough. He and Pat Shurmur can figure something out that they throw quick passes. They get the ball out quickly. They do some draws. They do some screens. They throw the ball more on first and second down than they do on third down so that guys aren't teeing off on Eli. They have to figure this out. They've been in the league too long. They just don't even look like an NFL team. Their defense is pretty good. It's not like the 86 Bears or anything, but it can keep them in games if their offense can actually put some drives together. I don't know. Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, you got to figure that they'll be able to get pressure on Eli. Deshaun Watson has come back down to earth. So this is a game, like I said, with Andrew Luck and Carson Wentz. It's kind of a big game for their progression. This could be a big game for Deshaun Watson, kind of making that next step, because he's looked pretty bad these first 2 games. He's missed guys. He's double clutched things. Can't get right, I guess, is basically what I'm saying. And he looks like the guy that people questioned why we shouldn't take him. Like the Browns didn't take him. Teams passed on him. And for the first 7 games last year, he made teams regret that. But it looks like he's showing why teams passed on him. He's not been what we thought he would be. They are who we thought they were. And we let him off the hook. No, so I'll still take the Texans -6, but this could be the week that I completely jump off the Deshaun Watson train. Rams Chargers. What's going on with Joey Bosa? I know Nick Bosa just went out with a abdominal surgery. Let's see if Joey Bosa is going to play. I think he's going to miss the whole year at this rate. Joey Bosa injury. Let's see, because this is big. Schedule. He's getting a walking boot. Okay, so yep, he's going to get a walking boot. Expected to return from foot injury in October. So it's going to be a while. I guess he's avoiding surgery. He'll probably come back, hurt his foot immediately, and then have to get season-ending surgery. So he's not playing today. Look, Melvin Ingram on the one side is a beast. When you put Joey Bosa on the other side, it makes the two of them almost unblockable. The Rams have looked almost unbeatable this year so far. The first half against the Raiders, they were slow to start, but from then on, in the last 6 quarters, they've looked good. Goff still struggles with some inconsistency and some inaccuracy issues, but he's good enough to get the job done. He's plenty good enough. Trust me, I'd take him on my team any day of the week. He's a really good, really young quarterback. 7 points is a lot. It's technically a home game for the Rams, although they're both LA teams. I'm going to go with the Rams. The Chargers have not looked very good this year. So I'll go LA Rams, that is -7. I don't know how confident I am in that, but I'll go Rams -7. Which leads us to one of the more intriguing starts of the season, the Bears, one of the worst teams in the NFL, the Cardinals, who will soon, I guess, have to go to Josh Rosen. I don't know that they're going to throw him out to the Wolves. Let's see if Sam Bradford's going to start. Sam Bradford. I should probably do a little pre-research so I'm not typing things in as we go here. They're going to play faster in a scaled-down look against the Bears. So, yes, it is going to be Bradford. I thought that would be unfair to Rosen to throw him out there against that Bears defense. The Bears defense is for real. It's it's scary. You have Leonard Floyd on one side, the monster that is Khalil Mack on the other side, I think Eddie Goldman in the middle, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan in the middle. I've said these names before. They're all really, really good. They're all pretty darn fast, too. Prince Amukamara has looked good, but he can be beat. So he's the one area you got to attack on that Bears defense, and eventually he'll sit on a route and take one to the house, which we saw. He did that against Russ last Monday night, and I think the Bears win this game. I just don't know that I can take the Bears at almost a touchdown favorite. I don't know that they're there yet. The Cardinals at home are the pick for me, Arizona +6. I do think the Bears win that game, but Arizona +6. Anytime you're getting a touchdown and you're the home team, you're a really bad team. The Cardinals are a bad team, but I don't think the Bears are some world beaters quite yet. All right. Well, that's a 4:25 game. The only other 4:25 game, looks like there's 3 4:00 games. Rams Chargers is going to be on CBS at 4:05. You have Bears Cardinals on Fox at 4:25, and then you have Seahawks Cowboys on Fox at 4:25. The Cowboys defense is going under the radar right now. I think the Cowboys defense is for real. Look, are they them boys? We them boys, so to speak? No, they're not them boys. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders by any stretch of the imagination, but their defense is good enough to keep them in games. Their offense is atrocious. Can Dak roll out and make some stuff happen? Yes. Is Dak good enough to run an NFL offense? Yes. Is he an elite quarterback? No. However, I don't like the Seahawks. I can't emphasize enough how bad I think the Seahawks are this year. They're like sneakily trying to rebuild around Russell Wilson, and they're trying to make it like they're winning, but it seems to me like they're trying to rebuild. And Russ is young enough that they're going to get away with it, I think, but they've got to find him, 1, some wide receivers, 2, an offensive line. Because right now they have that tight end Disley or whatever that they like to throw to, and that's about it. They don't have really any wide receivers to speak of, and they don't have much in way of an offensive line. I don't know how they're a favorite in this game, quite honestly, aside from the fact that it's in Seattle. So when it's in Seattle, you can bet that it's going to be, they're going to have that 12th man. Yes. What's up? What game? I think it's called Hole IO. Like Slither IO, but it's called Hole IO. Big game morning in the Dundarski household. I put the kids on the iPads, and I guess they found I don't know if you guys are familiar with Slither, but it's like a game where you're a snake and you try to eat smaller snakes. And there's a whole slew of games. So there's like a snake version, there's like a hole version where you're a little hole and you try to eat the bigger holes, and then you're like a little dot. So there's all kinds of different variations. But he was asking about the hole. He's into that one right now. Hole.io. Anyway, the pick's Dallas +1. Hopefully my picks don't fall into a hole. Hey, which takes us to the Sunday night game. Lions, Pats. Aaron Patricia he's not coming home. Bill Belichick. Man, my son threw me off there. Bill Belichick goes to see Aaron Patricia, his old defensive protege who couldn't put together a defense. The Patriots defense has been bad the past few years. I don't know how Aaron Patricia parlayed that into a head coaching job. However, jury's still out on him. They're 0-2 to start. The Patriots are a 7-point road favorite. That's a huge number. They still don't have Edelman back. Gronk is obviously Gronk. Chris Hogan, they did pick up Josh Gordon. I doubt he plays. But 7 points is a lot. I think the Lions against that Patriots defense that has been improved this year, but still not great. I think the Lions can score at the end to make it close. For that reason, I'm going Detroit +7. A lot of my picks this week, I'm like, they'll score late to make it close. But I'm going Detroit +7. What more can you say about that game? The Lions have looked bad. The Patriots have looked but that's usually how they look at the beginning of the year. They don't start well. They usually go about, 1-1 and 2-1 and 3-2, and then they just run off 12 wins in a row after that and go to the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl. However, I think they're going to win this game, get to 2-1. They'll probably run away with the division. The Dolphins look like they're going to be a team to at least challenge the Patriots. They're not going to beat them, but they can at least challenge them. The Rams look like they'll clinch first out west. The NFC West looks terrible. So the Rams will probably be the first team to clinch this year as opposed to the Patriots, who like to usually be the first team to clinch because they play in such a shit division. But I think the Jets are improved, the Bills are bad, and the Dolphins are improved. So they're going to play. They should still go 5-1 in the division, but you got to figure that they won't clinch as soon as they are used to clinching. Which brings us to the last game of the week, the Monday night game, the Steelers, the shit show, the circus, whatever you want to refer to it as. Go to Tampa Bay and play the Buccaneers. This line started off at Pittsburgh -1. I would love -1.5, actually. I would have loved to have seen what this line was before the season started. It had to have been Pittsburgh like minus a touchdown. It's Pittsburgh -1.5 on Tuesday. On Thursday, it's Pittsburgh -1. Right now, it's Tampa Bay -1. The line has completely flipped about 3 points to be the Tampa Bay that is the favorite. I like Pittsburgh +1 in this game. If you're going to give me a point, I'm going to take the Steelers. I've been wrong on the Bucs. I guess I've not been wrong on them. I bet them the first week when they beat the Saints. Then I thought the Eagles were going to blow their doors off. Didn't happen. Fitzmagic is still in the building. You're not the only one with chest hair, buddy, though. I got some sweet hamburger meat too that can rival anybody. Don't quite have the head of hair. Don't quite have the patience to grow out the beard. But other than that, I'm basically Fitzmagic. I can't throw more than 40 yards, but I do have some sweet chest hair, and I can rock some aviators and a sweet gold rope. Thick ropes, baby. That's what we talk about here on this podcast. Them thick ropes. Got a 4-roper. Yeah, that was gross. Anyway, I'm going Pittsburgh +1. Those are the picks for the week. We're going Pittsburgh +1, Detroit +7, Dallas +1.5, Arizona +6. Rams -7, Texans -6, Denver +6, Jacksonville -10, Cincinnati +3, Green Bay -3, Indy +7, Buffalo +17, Miami -3, San Fran +6.5, Atlanta -2, and the Jets +3, which was already a loser. So we're 0-1 on the week. We'll try to stay. I've been 10-6 or 9-6 both weeks. I'm trying to stay in that 10-win range every week. I think that's pretty friggin' good against the spread. If you guys think you can do better, let me know. We'll set it up. We'll come here. We'll do a dueling picks deal. If you have something you'd like to promote, I'm not going to charge you to promote it, but come on here. We can do like Johnny's fucking Johnsonville sausage picks of the week. I don't think any of you own Johnsonville sausage, but if you have any company like, unless it's MLM, then I don't want to do it. I'm not doing Lulu Rose picks of the week. I'm not doing that. Just not happening. But any other thing you want to promote or talk about, you can come on and talk about suicide awareness. I don't care. We'll talk about it. We'll make some picks against each other. We'll go from there. This should be up live on the actual, like, any podcast streaming site you listen to within the next half hour. Thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great week. I'll be back on Wednesday night to do the normal podcast. I finally have kind of a schedule figured out here between the kids' soccer, actual work, and real life that I think Wednesday nights are going to be the night that I can squeeze in the actual podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Later.